All right, I got one, the AYN Thor. I got the Pro version. This is a first impressions video. I'm gonna try to keep it short because I think there's a few things here. I don't have a script, but a few things that have just stuck out to me. And without further ado, we're just gonna dive right in. First of all, let's talk about the build quality. I always talk about form with these things. This feels like a premium gaming console, something that Nintendo or really any other console maker would have come out with. In fact, it's probably a better feel than like the 3DS in hand, just like the plastics they used. Here's a big one. When I first got it, the packaging smell of like the internals and the styrofoam or foam, whatever, felt premium. If you know, you know. Good, it has a good heft to it, good weight. It just feels premium, and it's got a premium price tag, which makes sense. It's just fantastic. And I'll say like it took me a while to get this set up here. We'll get into that in a minute. The controls feel great, maybe a little bit crammed. Sometimes like you're holding it like this, and after a while that gets a little too much, you know, a little bit cramped. So then holding it more loosely like this feels nice. I'll usually, while I'm playing on the couch or something, kind of put it on a pillow, like on my stomach, so that all the weight's on the pillow, and then I can just use, you know, my fingers there. Otherwise, you know, I've played a lot of these little retro handhelds. These are recessed, and it has to be because of the clamshell case here, the analog sticks, but the analog sticks are great. It just feels a little bit weird that like when you go over to the side and stuff, you kind of lose that finger input. Your finger starts to slide onto the screen here. Just something I've noticed. Nothing crazy, it just comes with the territory, right? So build quality, fantastic. This is all glass here. I went for, as you can kind of see how it's shiny across the board, I went for the, like I said, the Pro version, and then I got the, I think it's called Rainbow. It's got this sort of classic beigey gray kind of look to it. So build quality is fantastic. The OLED screen's fantastic. The experience of using this, once you get it set up, is great. And that's the thing here. If you are looking for something, everyone's already said it, but I'm gonna say it again. If you're looking for something to pull it out of the box and start playing games, this isn't it. I will say, because I've done this kind of stuff in the past, getting it set up to where I want it didn't take as long as maybe I thought it would have. Russ from Retro Game Core has the best video ever on how to set this up. If you pick one up, link in the description, you've probably already seen it, but if not, I just followed that basically to a T. But what I've put over top is not Cocoon, which is what he suggested. This is called Retro Hrai, I think, H-R-A-I. So this is a different launcher. I just thought it looked a lot better. I've taken some time customizing everything in here to make it look the way that it does, but I just think this is the best version of this. There's a grid layout. It kind of gives like Steam a little bit here, Steam OS, with just the way that you can cycle through these things. It is a learning curve, and it does take some time. You have to set up each emulator itself and configure it there. Then you have to put on basically like this front end layer to get it to look and feel how you want, and then it launches out of there. I'm not going to go into it too much, but it's not a plug and play kind of thing, and it does take setup. However, again, I'll say, I think it was a little bit easier than I thought it would be because of the video from Russ from Retro Game Core. He just broke it down. Very simple. But yeah, other than that, like I kind of picked this up because I did miss out on the DS and the 3DS growing up. I went from like Game Boy Color to PSP. So I like didn't have any of those other consoles there. And so I've been excited to play this because of the dual screen here. You can really dive into these games and play like Zelda, A Link Between Worlds, which is one I always wanted to play, but never got to. And then I've been throwing it back to the games that I really loved on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 was like one of my favorite consoles ever. I think it was one of my first. I had the old Nintendo, Super Nintendo or whatever, which was fantastic. And then we got a PlayStation 2. And I played some Sega Genesis at my grandparents' house. But PlayStation 2 was definitely one of those consoles that like I just loved. And it was my first like real console. We got it for Christmas. And then I went from there to like the Xbox 360 or something like that. So Harry Potter, Spider-Man 2, From Russia with Love, 007. Never got to play the God of War games because I was young. I couldn't play M-rated games. My Street was one me and my sister put a lot of time and effort into, which was fun. But just to be able to throw it back to these games, they run flawlessly on here. It's just nostalgia, you know? And the fact that 2, you can run Steam games on here as well. I recently, I've been playing this game, which is a Steam game. I don't even remember what it's called. I got it forever ago. But the fact that you can play these sort of like small indie games from Steam right here is fantastic. Hollow Knight, games like that just run really well on here. I'm excited to start up Stardew Valley again on here. My first impressions are this is awesome. It has me, I'm ready to sell my Steam Deck, so if you want it, let me know in the comments and I can sell it to you. But I do want to sell the Steam Deck. I just don't play it enough. It's too big. I have a PC here for gaming. I have this now, and I have the Nintendo Switch 2, so that's kind of all my boxes checked. Retro, old school, indie games from Steam on here on the couch. Nintendo Switch 2 can play some newer AAA titles if I want to. Handheld, all of the new AAA Nintendo games, of course, I can play on there. And then the Steam, running Steam on my gaming PC allows me to play all the AAA titles that I want to in sort of a seated controller fashion. So I have all my boxes checked. This allows me to play a lot of different games, which is super exciting. So overall, thoroughly impressed. Didn't think, I'm not surprised. Everyone was just saying this was the coolest handheld in a long time, so I kind of knew what to expect in a way. But I do think it was actually easier to set up than I thought it would be. That might not be the case for you if you've never done like ROMs and files and BIOS and folders and like setting up the back end of emulators and things like that. This might be a little bit difficult for you, definitely a learning curve. But the fact that I've done it lightly already was enough to get me here, especially again with Russ from Retro Game Core's walkthrough setup. He has an article about it too if you don't want to just watch a video and do it, but it will take you a few hours, maybe even a few days to get this where you want it to be. So just keep that in mind as you're working through this. But that's gonna do it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you'd want like an actual like review. Again, this is more of like a first impressions. I've just had a lot of fun playing this. Yeah, it's just been great. And I just love all the little customization that you can set up where down here on the second screen, it's showing you like the titles. All of that's been really fun to dig into and dive into on the couch. So anyway, that's gonna do it. Thanks so much for watching. On this channel, we help you discover tech that marries form and function. We like tech that improves our lives and looks good while doing so. So if that sounds cool to you, please consider subscribing. Like this video for more like it. Hype it up if you would. Watch that video next. I think you're gonna love it. We'll see you all in the next one.